Hello everybody and welcome back to Stellaris, where we are currently in breach of galactic law, and that is because we don't have enough naval cap. That will change very soon, but the primary reason we don't have enough is of course because we're basically the only ones actually fighting the Tempest Trolls. So there is that. We're going to proceed forward here on fastest speed, but we're also going to need to get this planetary capital going on this generator world. Anything else that we need to do? We're building a bunch of ships. Those were queued up previously. That's fine. That'll get us back out of breach of galactic law. We are going to need to wait a little bit here. People are claiming our systems. That's not shocking because of our current production issues, but we're going to have a lot of production very shortly here. I'm going to build the starbase here in Emery, and we'll get that done. That'll get us that volatile moat. Fantastic. And then we're going to grab the Tunari Vortex as soon as we can. But that's going to be a little while yet. The terminal egress station is, of course, working on upgrading. This bastion here definitely needs to be further upgraded. Hangar bay and gun battery, as well as a communications jammer. Done. Now, we're not going to get that upgraded to a Star Fortress just yet. There's simply no way. Not with the amount of alloys we currently need. So we're going to hold off on that for a bit. Reinforcements will be arriving here fairly steadily over the next little while. And that's mostly what we're looking for, is just reinforcements here.
Construction complete.
Is this a normal environmental hazard?
Construction
I don't know.
Complete.
Regardless, the Orinoco has finished up construction here. And I would love to have influence right now. That would be a really nice thing to have, for sure. So realistically, we know that we need 51 influence per claim, right? So if we need 51, I guess 52. 52 per claim. So this would be 104. This would be 208. This would be 312. So like 650 is what we need at this point. So we're not too interested in pushing out here until our influence works its way up a bit. We also need to reinforce our fleets pretty heavily. For right now, since we are currently constructing, I'm just going to bank up our alloys for a little bit, and then we can work on getting our fleets completely reinforced, hopefully. We know we needed something like, what was it, like 15,000? Something like that? Along those lines, I think. What can you offer us? No, we're not interested. We're going to definitely build our observation posts and our mining stations here. Cool. And this archaeological site is pending. Continued excavations near the hunting lodge have provided more details. Drisk Prime in the Valley of Mechvale specifically served as a hunting reserve for the ruling warrior class of an interstellar polity known as the Redirax domain. The Redirax, a predatory avian species, periodically collected random wow, words are very difficult this morning. Okay, this is a great sign. Periodically collected random individuals from the many subjugated alien civilizations under their rule. These aliens were then hunted down and killed in the wilderness of Mechvale, according to the rituals that governed Redirax society. This tradition lasted several centuries until the domain eventually succumbed to an undefined outside threat. Okay. So, a big problem with our current influence gain is, of course, our naval cap. We're no longer in breach of galactic law. That's very nice. Very nice indeed. And let's go ahead and reinforce this down to 7,000. Okay. That's nice. I wonder if it wasn't updating correctly previously. I don't know. It feels like that's a little low, but sure. You know what? It's fine. We're building a lot of ships here. It's all good. So we need to head down to the Tunari Vortex, and we're going to continue to get that going. We need 7,000 more alloys, which, to be clear, is a lot of alloys. But we have a lot of ships queued up for the moment. And we definitely want to grab these last couple of locations. The most important one is probably Tunari Vortex for right now. And these guys have popped a fleet in here. They're currently fighting the Vlur. And it looks like they're going to defeat the Vlur.
Lost.
Yeah, and they took out that mining station. That's not a big deal. We don't really care about that. Cool. Fleet command limit, not that we can really do anything with that. Naval cap, on the other hand, that's pretty good, but that is a repeatable tech. The mega shipyard is something that we should probably consider building up here in Terminal Egress. Or not in Terminal Egress, but in, like, Rurius. Eventually. Cool. So they're moving some fleets in here. We're bringing in a lot of reinforcements right now. And we're just going to continue to pump all of the alloys that we get, or almost all of the alloys that we get, into that. I'm going to jump drive these guys down to Urkanon's Maw again, but we're not going to jump them back in. Archimeter finishes up. We can grab the Science Nexus and the Quantum Catapult. I forget what this actually does. Let's get the Quantum Catapult. I don't think I've ever built it before. So that's fine. The Sol Station is done with its shipyard queue. We're going to continue to reinforce. That should get a few more going there. Yep, a few more corvettes. We've got a bunch of battleships going right now. It'll take some time for those to get through the queue station. The first fleet should be finishing up pretty soon. Let's take a look at that. Yeah, we definitely can't make our fleets larger at this exact moment. But we're definitely going to see our influence coming up here. So that's great. We're definitely... I mean, it's been a while, right, since we have fought any of the nanites. So that's a thing. Now, Terminal Egress is still upgrading. It's upgrading to a Starhold right now. If these guys are going to be here, then we should be able to take the first and third fleet out to Shukan. And in theory, the fourth fleet can hold here with the station and the Calictora. In theory. These two fleets come out. There's no one out here right now. Okay, so we're going to take the scout, and we're going to survey this system. They're almost certainly going to jump in from over here. So we'll head over, like so. We need to survey this, and we need to get our construction ship up here as soon as we can. We see them coming in. That's fine. We'll build our mining and research stations in Terminal Egress.
Engaging enemy fleet.
There we go. And we will fight these guys. There should be no real problem here. We take a few losses. What do we actually lose there? 5 corvettes, 10 corvettes, and 2 cruisers. The cruisers are a bit painful, but I think overall that's fine. If we look at our fleet manager here, yeah, that is like 2,000 alloys worth. But we'll just continue to reinforce for the time being. Okay. So that's fine. We're going to come up and survey the Shukan system. The UES Scout is pretty low HP, but we should be fine, in theory. We need to start grabbing these systems and pushing these guys back. Having 3 fleets to do that with will be a big boon.
Construction.
But we need to get our fleets reinforced before that ends up actually happening. Now, we could definitely walk over to Camglaria, but we're going to bank up our influence for the time being. Okay, we need another 6,500 alloys. Titans are now unlocked. And we should consider adding a Titan to each of our fleets, despite the fact that that will put us over our naval cap. We'll go ahead and grab orbital rings. And we are going to design ourselves a Titan. We'll not auto-upgrade it. I definitely want a nanobot cloud. I want to be able to repair. Full neutron launchers, huh? Having some neutron launchers isn't the worst idea here. But I want to have 2 railguns, 2 gamma lasers, and I want to check 80 range. Okay. And then a pair of neutron launchers. And yes, 80 range. That looks good. Beautiful. We're going to get this all put together a little bit differently. We definitely want to defend our Titans. So we're going to want some defensive structures in these slots. So things like shield capacitors. For now, I think just shield capacitors. There we go. So we'll save that as the Formidable class Titan. And we're going to get one of each Titan into each of our fleets here. These are going to be very expensive, so that's going to make this amount go up pretty dramatically, although it didn't change there. Just another reason why I think that this is not 100% a reliable number, although it might change on the month tick. Let's see what happens there. Okay, month tick, and no, it just didn't change. This number did, this number did not. So I don't think that this number is particularly reliable. Okay, good to know. By tracing weak energy trails, most likely left by spacefaring vessels, one particular asteroid in the cluster was singled out. Closer inspection of the asteroid surface confirmed the theory of prior space traffic, as multiple signs of landing and takeoff were found on the rocky exterior. Sensors also indicate cavities and tunnels within the asteroid, which may be excavated. Oh, well, we'll look into that. Cool. What happens if we actually hit the button? The number goes down. Yeah, so this number is not strictly reliable then. Good to know. Good to know. Those Titans are, of course, going to be very expensive. And as soon as we're done building our research stations over here, the Rontor Hive managed to finish off a particularly nasty enemy threat. Sounds good. As soon as these stations are done over here, we're going to be able to grab ourselves Shukon, which will be great. And again, if they're going to be here, we can, in theory, pull this fleet away. So right now, I'm going to sell off some minerals here. I'm going to sell some food as well, and some consumer goods. And we're going to use all of those proceeds to buy in a few extra alloys to hopefully make our way through these Titans and this general deficit here. Yeah, this is just not counting the Titans right now. But that did get us some battleships, corvettes, and cruisers. So that will get us all except one Titan.
Survey complete.
And one battleship, or rather, our Titans. There will not be... How many Titans can we even have? We can have 2. So we're going to be over our Titan cap and our naval cap a little bit. That might strain our economy. We'll take a look at that. But what I was trying to say previously is we're not going to have any Titans from what we've queued up here. We're going to be missing a battleship and all 3 of our Titans. Okay. So Shukon is now done being surveyed. Let's go see if there's anything back here. And then we're going to build a starbase in Shukon. That is our current mission. Someone just surveyed in Rurius.
Science ship under fire.
Okay. So they are here. The science ship's out of here. Cool. That's fine. We know that there's 2 fleets there. So for the moment, that's okay. We will continue to hold in Shukon. And this fleet is going to be finished up soon. We do need to get that last battleship queued up. And yeah, those Titans are just not counting for some reason. But the orbital ring is done. And at this point, we can go for... We could go for mega cannons. Or synthetic crystal plants. That's super cheap. Let's go ahead and do that. Following small and narrow tunnels, the expedition team finally stumbled into the innermost sanctum, a vast and exquisitely crafted chamber adorned by sculptures carved directly into the rock. Translation of spiritual texts carved into the walls called the place the Ninth Step, and it was apparently one of many destinations on a religious journey taken by the creating species. If this was the ninth step, where are the preceding 8? And how many steps followed? Fascinating. So we get a lot of science out of that. Cool. So that means that the Galileo is not doing anything. And we can take that... I'm just looking for additional locations to excavate. We're not seeing any other than the one in Drisk. Yeah. Someone grabbed the Tunari Vortex. The Vor... Okay, I'm very upset with the Vor. Very upset. That is our territory, and we will get it back. Okay, so we're going to come over to terminal egress here, and we're just going to investigate. Cool. So the Merrimack is not doing anything right now. We can definitely get away with building a starbase up here, and so we shall. We're almost done building over here. And yes, this archaeological dig is done. That's all fine. So at this point, we know that we need like 8,000 alloys to get our Titans built, I think. Something along the lines of that. And of course, we don't have any Titan assembly yards. In order to do that, we're going to need citadels. Because in order to build Titans, we have to build a Titan assembly yard. And that requires citadels. So, we need a lot of alloys. We're probably not going to expand our fleet in that manner just yet. Taking a look at these guys, they're just chilling at the L gate right now. Archaeologists excavating the hunting lodge have stumbled upon several references to a legendary Redarax warrior known only as the Huntress. She was apparently their most efficient killer, renowned throughout the domain for having personally butchered thousands of aliens at Mechvale. It's unclear whether this is based on fact or fiction, but according to Redarax's legend, the Huntress was killed somewhere inside the valley when she was outwitted by the alien prey she was pursuing. She was supposedly wielding the fabled Blade of the Huntress at the time. Okay, so our fleets are getting very close to being fully reinforced, right? We need battleships and cruisers out over here. And just generally, we need battleships and cruisers. So we're going to chill here for just this moment. And as soon as we're done with the Orinoco here, we're going to grab Shukon.
Technology discovered.
That is a high priority for us. Synthetic crystal plants finish up. Battleship build cost and build speed would be really good for us. So we're definitely going to take that. A mega shipyard will be done in 24 months. It'll be a while before we're ready to build one of those, but we'll definitely build one in the L cluster. There's no doubt about that.
Construction complete.
Okay, so we just finished up construction somewhere. The Scout can make its way back over here again. Something kind of like that. The Yangtze is going to just sit here for a moment. We are starting to bank up alloys now, and upgrading our shipyards is going to be the top priority. But we're going to grab Shukon here. Cool. Once we have that, we're going to backtrack and clear out Iram very, very quickly. We'll move the 4th Fleet over to defend Shukon, which I think we'll go ahead and do right now. And then we're going to move these guys in position to jump. Nobody's jumped into terminal egress in a while. I think they may have given up on this, and besides, there are some Kalaktora ships here that could defend our system, potentially. Active scans of Gol Melrude have picked up what appears to be a large ship deep inside the atmosphere of the gas giant. Judging by the nearby debris, there have been several failed attempts to salvage this derelict in the past. Any ship strong enough to withstand such crushing gravity must be a magnificent prize, and Science Officer Merck, daughter of Deeb, has proposed a salvage project of our own. We're actually going to take the influence here. Cool. So we're going to grab this construction ship, and that's going to head over to Zeldra, I think? Yes. Head to Zeldra, and we can start building a hyper relay there. Cool. We can build our research station. The Yangtze can finish up this area at long last. The Scout and the Galileo are just sitting here, but that's fine for now. We want to finish our construction here. Okay. Cool. So we're going to move up and defend that. We're now going to jump into Iram. We're also going to move the Scout and the Galileo into Shukon. There we go. So we jump in here. We'll eliminate this fleet extremely quickly. Our picket ships do a lot of good against these guys. There we go. And now we'll clear out this nanite fleet as well.
Construction
Over we head.
complete.
Yeah, that perdition beam hurts us pretty badly. There's no doubt about that. But for the time being, we can definitely clear this. There we go. So these guys can now move back to Shukon and position themselves here for the time being. Our science ships are going to come in here, and both are going to survey this system. Cool. We're going to build our mining and research stations in Shukon. And we're, of course, going to need to eventually work on reinforcing our fleets here. We took losses, so there we go. Now, terminal egress is going to be done upgrading to Starhold shortly, in 10 days, so that's absolutely fine.
Construction complete.
Okay, so we're going to grab the hangar bay as well as the gun battery, and then we're going to grab the communications jammer. Cool. So we can now finish out our prosperity tree, and we can now grab an ascension perk. Becoming the crisis would be funny, but we're not going to do that. That's not what we're going for here. We can go for Colossi. Defender of the Galaxy might not be a bad choice for later in the game. It wouldn't really help us right now. Eternal Vigilance might not be bad. Galactic Contender would be good, if we're planning on fighting Fallen Empires. What else would we be interested in? Simply Master Builders to make megastructures faster? Honestly, that's not a terrible idea. We can grab that. Cool. So the Merrimack is not doing anything. We're going to move that over to a Sheepso. And the Yangtze will finish out its mining stations over here. We are definitely going to take this over from the Dustican Combine. That will be something that will happen later. But right now, we're not ready for that just yet. Look at how much is unclaimed over here. That's interesting. I wonder if that was destroyed by the nanites. I don't know. We can look into that, though. So I'm going to move these guys back to terminal egress now. Holding terminal egress is of utmost importance. I'm actually going to move... Okay, there's an incoming raid. Sure, go to red alert. But I'm actually going to not move this fleet. I'm going to move these guys up over here, and I'm going to move these guys back to terminal egress for purposes of fetching repairs. Cool. I'm going to move these over as well. We're going to want repairs for everything that we can get. Beautiful. And we're going to continue to reinforce. Okay. So as soon as we're done in Shukon, we're going to head down to Iram. And that'll be great. So the raiding fleet has been detected. Where are they? Where indeed? Over here. 11K? They can't even make it past this station. Okay. It should be fine. There should be no problems there. Cool. So we're finishing off this station here, and we're going to head into Iram. Fantastic. The Merrimack is, of course, not doing anything right now, but we're just going to leave it be. There's nothing that we can do because we don't have the influence for the moment. Our migration packs are costing us a lot of influence, but we are going to be done with our influence requirements fairly soon, or quasi-done with our influence requirements fairly soon. So there is that.
Survey complete.
Ooh, an alloy down here. Nice. That will, of course, help. And we're going to make our way back up to Shukon. And then we're going to grab our starbase here as soon as we can. Our repairs are done here in terminal egress. So, the next location that I want to hit is out of terminal egress, and we do need to consider upgrading this to a star fortress once we can. But I want to take these guys out over to here. But we need a science ship to investigate that. We're going to tell the Galileo to come out here and explore this system. And the Scout is going to come up here and explore... Actually, we're going to repair the Scout first. The Scout is at like 9% hull, so we should probably repair the Scout. Cool. So we just saw a science ship go out here. and immediately come back. So we know for a fact that there's something here.
Technology discovered.
So we're going to move these guys out over to unknown here. Beautiful. And there's our standardized battleships. That's wonderful. I think we'll go for space torpedoes? Sure. We're looking for level 5 railguns. That would be awfully nice. But it hasn't popped up as of yet. We can continue to reinforce our fleets, which still is of utmost importance.
Hostile fleet encountered.
Okay, so that's the raiding fleet, but I'm not concerned about that. The Ilia station should be able to hold this no problem, so that's fine. It is, however, time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode, we are going to continue to tame the L cluster. Things will just get easier and easier from here. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including Casserole, Sigma162, JJ Gamer, Ken2In, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Video Games Are Not Real, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Kadra, Raw Potato, Elmishi Nazi, Justin Everett, Emiliano Cameron, Martin Lawrence, Jens Graham, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.